When Sarah mentioned she was visiting her mom for the weekend, a shadow of doubt darkened my thoughts. The timing was too convenient, her tone too rehearsed. I couldn't shake off the lingering suspicion that something was off. "Are you sure you don't want me to drive you?" "It's a long way to your mom's," I offered, trying to gauge her reaction. "No, it's okay. I need some time to clear my head." "You know, with everything going on at work," Sarah replied, avoiding eye contact as she stuffed a weekend bag with clothes and essentials, more than necessary for just a weekend, it seemed. As she left, her hurried kiss felt cold, her gaze distant. I stood by the doorway, watching her car disappear down the street. The unease in my gut twisted tighter. Driven by a mix of fear and suspicion, I made a decision that would change everything. I decided to follow her. I waited a few minutes, then got into my car and drove in the direction of the interstate, keeping an eye out for her familiar silver sedan. Instead of heading towards her mom's place in the suburbs, she took a different exit, one that led downtown. My heart pounded as I followed at a safe distance. The silver sedan pulled into the parking lot of the Grand Oak Hotel, a place that screamed luxury and secrets. Why here? What was she doing? I parked across the street, watching as Sarah entered the hotel, her body language tense. Moments later, she was joined by two men. Identical twins, unmistakable with their broad shoulders and matching dark curls. They seemed familiar with her, each placing a hand on her back as they disappeared inside. The betrayal sliced through me. This wasn't a casual meeting, it was intimate, planned. I could hardly breathe as I entered the hotel, my mind racing. The lobby was bustling, but I only had eyes for the elevators. I needed to see with my own eyes, to confront the reality of Sarah's deceit. With a racing heart, I made my way to the reception. A glimpse of her signing in earlier helped me bluff my way through security. "Room 402, the receptionist unwittingly confirmed when I asked if I had been left a spare key. Up in the elevator, every floor ascended was a step deeper into the heartache. I approached room 402, my hand trembled as I knocked, then without waiting, pushed the door open. The sight was more piercing than my worst fears. There they were, all together, their naked forms entangled. The shock was a physical blow, a punch to the gut that left me gasping. "James!" "What? How did you?" Sarah stammered, her voice a mix of shock and fear. "Enough!" I roared, unable to contain the storm within. The twins scrambled, grabbing at discarded clothing, while Sarah's pleas filled the room. But there was nothing she could say to undo what was done. I turned away, the last image of her burned into my memory, not as my loving wife, but as a stranger. The walk back to my car was the longest of my life, each step heavy with the weight of a shattered heart. In the days that followed, the divorce proceedings began. It was swift and brutal. Sarah tried to reach out, to explain, but I was done. The love I had for her was gone, replaced by a void. As I signed the last paper, it was clear. Sarah was out of my life for good. The wound would scar, but I was determined to move forward, alone. The intrigue of how deep her deceit went, and the reasons behind her betrayal, would unfold, but for now, I focused on rebuilding from the ruins of our marriage. Days after the divorce, the silence of the apartment suffocates me. The walls, once filled with laughter and warmth, now echo only the remnants of betrayal. As I sit on the edge of the bed we once shared, my friend Mark knocks and enters, concern etched across his face. "James, you can't just sit here in the dark, man. You need to get out, maybe meet some new people," Mark suggests, flipping on the light, forcing me to shield my eyes from the sudden brightness. "I don't know, Mark. I'm not sure I'm ready for that," I reply, my voice hoarse from disuse. "Look, there's a meet-up tonight at the Crafted Keg. It's just a casual thing. People talking tech, startups, your kind of crowd. It'll do you good." Reluctantly, I agree. Anything is better than another night drowning in memories of Sarah. At the Crafted Keg, the hum of conversation and clinking glasses is initially overwhelming. Mark introduces me to a few regulars, their names wash over me like a forgotten breeze. Then, someone catches my attention, a woman with an infectious laugh, talking animatedly about cybersecurity. Her name is Lisa, and she's a software developer at a local tech firm. As we talk, I find myself genuinely smiling for the first time in weeks. Lisa's intelligence and wit are a balm to my bruised soul. As the night winds down, she hands me her business card. "If you ever want to talk tech, or if you need help debugging your life, give me a call," she says with a wink. I thank Mark as we head out. "You were right. It was good to get out. Told you, man. Life goes on, and you've got to move with it." Back home, as I place Lisa's card on my desk, a flicker of curiosity sparks. Maybe this is my chance to start fresh, to forge connections not stained by betrayal. I dive into some work, trying to keep my mind occupied. Hours later, a loud knock jolts me from my concentration. I'm but a detective, Detective Andrews, displaying his badge as I open the door. His presence sends a chill down my spine. "Mr. Morrison? We need to talk about your wife, Sarah Morrison. It seems there's been an incident." The word incident hangs in the air, heavy with implication. Confusion and a resurgence of old pain collide within me. What happened? Is she okay? I'm afraid I can't disclose much at your doorstep. Can we sit down? Nodding, I lead him to the living room, my mind racing with possibilities. Detective Andrews takes a seat, his expression grave. "Mr. Morrison, earlier today, Sarah was found in a critical condition at her apartment. She's alive, but barely. We're investigating all angles, but given your recent separation, you understand we need a complete picture." The news hits me like a hammer. Despite everything, the thought of Sarah hurt and alone twists a knot in my stomach. "I haven't seen Sarah since we signed the divorce papers," I managed to say, each word laced with shock. Detective Andrews nods, jotting down notes. "And your whereabouts earlier today?" "Here, working. You can check my phone, my computer. I've been logged on since morning." "We may need to do that, Mr. Morrison. Also, if you think of anything that might help us understand what happened to your wife, it's imperative you let us know." As he leaves, the weight of the situation settles in. My estranged wife, possibly fighting for her life, and now I'm a person of interest. The need for answers gnaws at me. Pulling out Lisa's card, I realize I might need her expertise sooner than expected. Whatever lies ahead, I can't face it alone. The morning light streams through my blinds, too bright, too harsh for the restless night I've had. The image of Sarah, hurt and vulnerable, haunts me, mixing with lingering anger and confusion. My phone vibrates, it's Mark. "James, heard about Sarah. You okay, man?" I rub my temples, sighing. "No, not really. It's all a mess. Detective Andrews was here last night asking questions." Mark's concern is palpable even through the phone. "You need anything, just shout. Maybe get out of the house for a bit, huh? Clear your head?" He's right. I need to move, to do something. "Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Thanks, man." After hanging up, I make a decision. I pick up my phone again, dialing the number on Lisa's card. It's time to delve deeper into this mystery. "Lisa, it's James Morrison. We met last night. I need some help with something." "James, hi." "Sure, what's up?" "It's a long story, but I might need some cybersecurity expertise." "Can we meet?" "Of course, how about noon at Café Del Mar?" "Perfect, see you there." At Café Del Mar, Lisa greets me with a warm smile that doesn't quite reach my storm of emotions. Over coffee, I explain everything, the infidelity, the divorce, and now the incident with Sarah. Lisa listens intently, her brow furrowed. "You think someone targeted her digitally?" "I don't know. It's just a hunch. Maybe her life wasn't as straightforward as I thought. Could you help me find out if there was any unusual activity? Financial, Personal, anything? Sure, I can do some preliminary checks. Do you have any of her devices? Any account access? Only the laptop she left behind. She changed all her passwords, but maybe there's something still there. Lisa nods. Bring it over to my place. We'll see what we can dig up. Later, at Lisa's tech-laden apartment, the air is thick with the hum of multiple monitors and the click of keyboards. She sets up Sarah's laptop, her fingers flying over the keys. Okay, let's see what we can find. You said she was secretive before the incident? Yeah, more than usual, I reply, watching her work. Lisa's concentration doesn't waver as she navigates through the digital maze. Minutes stretch into hours, the room lit only by the glow of screens. Finally, Lisa leans back, her eyes wide. James, you need to see this. Looks like Sarah was involved in something big, financial transactions to offshore accounts, encrypted messages, the works. And there's a name that keeps popping up, Viktor Romanov. Who is he? I ask, my heart rate picking up. Not sure, but this guy is linked to some heavy hitters. If he's involved, Sarah was playing dangerous games. Dangerous games that might have caught up with her, I think grimly. What's our next move? We need to find out more about Romanov. But be careful, James. This is bigger than a simple affair. You're in deep waters here. As Lisa packs up her gear, I feel the stakes rising. The mystery of Sarah's life entangles further, pulling me into its depths. I'm no longer just a betrayed husband, I'm a man on the brink of uncovering something that might be much larger than I ever imagined. The thought is both terrifying and exhilarating. The evening air is crisp as I walk towards the cyber cafe where I'm supposed to meet Lisa. My mind races with the implications of our discovery. Viktor Romanov, a name linked to ominous undertones in the digital underworld. I can't shake the feeling that this is more than I bargained for, yet I need answers. As I push open the door to the cafe, I spot Lisa hunched over her laptop in a secluded corner. Her face is illuminated by the screen, her expression intense and focused. She looks up as I approach, her eyes serious. James, sit down. We need to talk about what I've found. What is it? I ask, my voice tense, bracing for the worst. Viktor Romanov isn't just a businessman, he's a frontman for a larger syndicate. They launder money through various shell companies. And Sarah's company was one of them. It seems she got involved deeper than she intended. The revelation hits me like a blow. So, she was laundering money? Lisa nods grimly. It looks like it. And there's more. I traced back the communications between her and Romanov. They were planning to meet the day she was attacked. A meeting? For what? I press, needing to understand the full scope of her betrayal. To cut ties. It seems Sarah wanted out, but she knew too much. I think they tried to silence her. The pieces fall into place, a chilling picture of deceit and danger. Sarah wasn't just cheating, she was entangled in a web of crime that she tried to escape. And now? I ask, feeling the weight of every decision leading up to this moment. Now we turn over everything to the police. And James, you need to stay out of it. It's too dangerous, Lisa insists, her concern evident. I nod, feeling a mix of relief and profound betrayal. The woman I loved, the life we shared, it was all a lie, more complex and darker than I could have imagined. 2 days later, I watch from a distance as police raid a warehouse owned by one of Romanov's companies. Detective Andrews is there, directing his team with a focused intensity. The evening news reports it as a significant blow to organized crime in the city, thanks to an anonymous tip. I turn off the television, my mind finally settling on a grim satisfaction. Sarah's crimes are exposed, and she will face justice, but the love and trust we shared are irreparably broken. A week later, I sit in a lawyer's office, signing the final papers that dissolve any remaining ties I have with Sarah. The lawyer hands me a copy, and our eyes meet briefly, his filled with professional sympathy, mine with a resolute emptiness. Good luck, Mr. Morrison. I hope you find some peace, he says. Thank you, I reply, the words hollow. As I step out into the sunlight, the world looks different, sharper, as if I'm seeing it for the first time. Mark calls, suggesting a drink to celebrate my newfound freedom. But I decline. There's no celebration here, just the bittersweet taste of freedom tinged with loss. I walk away from everything that connected me to Sarah, the hatred for her betrayal a cold fire in my veins. Our paths would never cross again, of that, I was certain. In my pocket, the divorce papers crinkle, a final echo of a love that was never truly mine. The intrigue of betrayal, the hidden crimes beneath a facade of normalcy, and the ultimate unraveling had led me here, to a solitary path forward, where the future awaited, unknown and untainted by the shadows of the past.